Before the accident, I thought my life was simple. I had a steady job at the bank, a wife I loved, and a brother who always had my back. Rachel and I had plans to travel. Maybe a house, maybe kids. I thought we were happy. That night, the rain came down in sheets. I called Rachel from the office. "I'm running late. Don't wait up." She sounded distracted. "Okay, be careful," I laughed. "You always say that." She sighed. "Just get home safe, Ethan," I promised I would. The roads were slick. I remember headlights, a horn, the world spinning. Then nothing. I woke up to bright lights and the smell of antiseptic. My head throbbed. My leg was in a cast. I tried to sit up, but pain shot through my side. A voice said, "Easy, Mr. Blake. You're in the hospital." I blinked. Dr. Patel stood over me, clipboard in hand. "You're lucky. The crash could have been much worse." I tried to speak. "How long have I been here?" She smiled. 2 days. "You had a concussion and a broken leg. But you're going to be okay." I closed my eyes. "Rachel, did she come?" Dr. Patel nodded. "She's been here. She'll be back soon." I tried to relax. I thought about Rachel, about how she'd fuss over me, bring me flowers, make jokes about hospital food. Mark showed up first. He grinned, relief all over his face. "You scared the hell out of me, man." I tried to smile. "You should see the other guy." He laughed. "You're still making jokes. That's a good sign." I asked, "How's Rachel?" He hesitated. "She's around. She's worried." I nodded, but something in his voice made me uneasy. Later, Rachel walked in. She wore a raincoat, her hair pulled back. She didn't smile. I tried to lighten the mood. "Hey, beautiful. Miss me?" She sat in the chair, arms crossed. "You look terrible." I grinned. "You always know how to make a guy feel special." She didn't laugh. "I brought your phone and some clothes." I reached for her hand. She pulled away. "You should rest." I frowned. "I'm okay. I just want to talk." She stood up. "I have to get back to work. I'll come by tomorrow." I watched her leave, a cold not forming in my chest. Dr. Patel checked on me again. "How are you feeling?" I shrugged. "Alive, that's something." She smiled. "You'll need physical therapy, but you'll recover." I asked, "Did Rachel say anything?" She seemed off. Dr. Patel hesitated. "She's under a lot of stress. Give her time." Mark visited every day. He brought bad coffee and worse jokes. "You're going to owe me for all these visits." I laughed. "Put it on my tab." He looked serious. "You sure you're okay?" I nodded. "Just tired." "Rachel's acting strange." He frowned. "She's been distant. Maybe she's scared." I tried to believe him. Rachel came by less and less. When she did, she barely spoke. She checked her phone, answered work emails, and left quickly. One afternoon, I asked, "Rachel, what's going on?" She looked at me, eyes cold. "I'm busy, Ethan. I can't sit here all day." I tried to reach her. I almost died. "Doesn't that matter?" She stood up. "I have to go." Mark walked in as she left. He watched her go, then turned to me. "You want to talk about it?" I shook my head. "I don't know what's happening." He sat beside me. "You'll get through this. I'm here." I stared at the ceiling, feeling more alone than ever. Dr. Patel came in with a smile. "You're making progress. You'll be out of here soon." I tried to smile back. "Thanks, Doc." She patted my shoulder. "You're stronger than you think." That night, I lay awake, listening to the rain against the window. I thought about Rachel, about the way she looked at me. Like I was already gone. I told myself it was just stress. But deep down, I knew something was wrong. The days blurred together. I counted ceiling tiles, watched the rain, and waited for Rachel. She barely visited. When she did, she was always on her phone. One morning, I heard her voice outside my room. She was on the phone, her tone sharp. "Yes, I need the insurance paperwork." "No, I don't have the death certificate yet. I'll get it soon." My heart pounded. Death certificate. I was alive. She walked in, acting normal. "Morning." I tried to keep my voice steady. "Who were you talking to?" She shrugged. Work stuff. I nodded, but my mind raced. Mark visited that afternoon. He brought a sandwich and a stack of magazines. You look better. I forced a smile. I feel better. Rachel's acting weird. He frowned. She called me last night. Asked if I needed anything from your apartment. I blinked. Why would she ask you that? He shrugged. I don't know. She sounded off. I sighed. She barely talks to me. She's always on her phone. Mark leaned in. You want me to check on her? I shook my head. Not yet. Maybe I'm just paranoid. Nurse Kelly came in to check my vitals. She smiled. You're healing fast. I grinned. I have to get out of here. Hospital food is killing me. She laughed. You'll be home soon. I lowered my voice. Have you noticed anything strange about Rachel? She hesitated. She asks a lot of questions about your insurance, more than most spouses. I frowned. What kind of questions? Nurse Kelly glanced at the door. She wanted to know how to get a copy of your medical records, and if the hospital issues death certificates. My stomach dropped. Did you tell her anything? She shook her head. No. I told her that's not how it works. I thanked her. She squeezed my hand. Take care of yourself, Ethan. That night, I called Rachel. She didn't answer. I texted. Can you come by tomorrow? She replied, busy, maybe later. I stared at the screen, feeling sick. Mark called. You okay? I hesitated. I think Rachel's hiding something. He was quiet. Want me to look into it? I nodded. Please. The next day, Rachel showed up with a bag of clothes. She barely looked at me. Here. You'll need these when you get out. I tried to catch her eye. Rachel, what's going on? She sighed. I'm tired, Ethan. I have work. I can't be here all the time. I reached for her hand. She pulled away. I have to go. After she left, Mark called. I checked your insurance account. There's a pending claim. I sat up. What? He said. It was filed yesterday. By Rachel. She listed you as deceased. I felt cold all over. I'm alive. Mark's voice was tight. I know. I'm coming over. I hung up, my mind spinning. Nurse Kelly came in. You looked pale. Are you okay? I shook my head. Rachel filed a claim. She said I was dead. Nurse Kelly's eyes widened. You need to tell your doctor. Dr. Patel came in a few minutes later. I told her everything. She listened, then said, You need to protect yourself, Ethan. Let us know if she tries anything else. Mark arrived, angry. We need to call the insurance company, and maybe the police. I nodded. Let's do it. That night, I stared at the ceiling, my heart pounding. I thought about Rachel's cold eyes, her quick exits, her phone calls. I realized I didn't know her at all. And I was scared for the first time in my life. The next morning, Nurse Kelly came in with a serious look. She closed the door behind her. Ethan, I need to tell you something. I sat up. What is it? She lowered her voice. Rachel tried to get a copy of your death certificate from the front desk. She said it was urgent. I stared at her, but I'm alive. She nodded. I know. That's why I told the staff not to give her anything. My hand shook. Thank you for telling me. She squeezed my shoulder. Be careful. Mark arrived a few minutes later. He looked tense. I called the insurance company. They confirmed Rachel filed a claim. She said you died in the accident. I felt sick. Did they pay her? He shook his head. Not yet. They flagged it as suspicious. I grabbed my phone and called Rachel. She answered, her voice cold. What do you want? I tried to keep calm. Why did you file a claim? Why did you say I was dead? She snapped. I don't know what you're talking about. I pressed. Don't lie to me, Rachel. I know everything. She hung up. Mark clenched his fists. We need proof. I nodded. Let's call the insurance agent. We dialed Mr. Harris, the agent. He answered. This is Harris. I said, this is Ethan Blake. I'm alive. My wife filed a claim saying I was dead. He sounded shocked. You're alive. I'll put a hold on everything. Can you come in and sign a statement? I agreed. I'll be there as soon as I'm discharged. After I hung up, Mark said, we need to keep records of everything. Calls, texts, emails. I nodded. I can't believe she did this. He put a hand on my shoulder. We'll get through it. I stared at the wall, my trust shattered. Rachel had tried to erase me, and now I had to fight for my own life. Mark and I spent the next day gathering evidence. He set up my phone to record every call. I saved every text from Rachel. I felt like a stranger in my own life. Mark said, "We need to be smart. Don't let her know we're onto her." I nodded. I just want the truth out. Rachel called that afternoon. Her voice was sweet, fake. "How are you feeling?" I kept my tone flat. "Better. The doctors say I'll be out soon." She hesitated. "That's good. I've been so worried." I pressed record. "You know, I heard you tried to get my death certificate." She laughed nervously. "What? No, that's crazy." I stayed calm. "The hospital staff told me, and the insurance company called. They said you filed a claim." She snapped. "You're being paranoid." "I was just making sure our paperwork was in order." I said, "You told them I was dead." She went silent. "You don't understand. I was scared. I thought you might not make it." I clenched my jaw. "So you tried to cash in before I was even gone?" She started to cry. "It wasn't like that. We have bills." I panicked. I ended the call. Mark looked at me. "We have enough. Let's talk to the police." I nodded. "I'll call Detective Lewis." I dialed. "Detective, my wife tried to claim my life insurance while I was still alive. I have proof." He sounded serious. "Bring everything to the station." "Don't confront her alone," I agreed. "Thank you." Mark gathered the files. "You okay?" I shook my head. "No, but I will be." That night, Rachel texted me, "Please, Ethan, let's talk." "I can explain." I didn't reply. I stared at the ceiling, anger and heartbreak fighting inside me. Rachel had betrayed me, but I wasn't going to let her win. I left the hospital with Mark by my side. We drove straight to our apartment. My heart pounded the whole way. Mark said, "You sure you want to do this?" I nodded. I need to see her face when she hears the truth. Rachel was in the kitchen, scrolling through her phone. She looked up, startled. "Ethan, you're home early." I set the folder of evidence on the table. "We need to talk." She tried to smile. "I was just about to visit you." I shook my head. "Stop lying. I know everything. The insurance claim, the death certificate, the calls. I have proof." Her face went pale. "Ethan, please." I cut her off. "You tried to cash in on my life while I was still breathing." She started to cry. I was desperate. The bills, the stress, I didn't know what else to do. I kept my voice steady. "You could have asked for help. You could have told the truth." She sobbed. "I'm sorry. I never wanted to hurt you." Mark stood behind me, arms crossed. "You almost ruined his life." Rachel dropped to her knees. "Please, Ethan, don't call the police. I'll do anything." I shook my head. "It's not up to me anymore." I pulled out my phone and called Detective Lewis. "I have the evidence." "She's here," he said. "Stay put. We're on our way." Rachel crawled to me, grabbing my hand. "Please, Ethan, I love you." "I made a mistake." I pulled away. "You loved the money, not me." Mark put a hand on my shoulder. "You did the right thing." Rachel sobbed on the floor as the doorbell rang. Detective Lewis entered, badge out. "Rachel Blake, we need to ask you some questions." She looked at me, pleading. "Ethan, please." I turned away. "I'm done." Detective Lewis led her out. Mark hugged me. "It's over." I nodded, tears in my eyes. "Yeah, it's over." The news spread fast. Rachel's arrest was in the local paper. My phone buzzed with messages from people I hadn't heard from in years. Some offered support. Others just wanted the story. Mark sat with me at the kitchen table. "You okay?" I shrugged. "I don't know. I feel empty, angry, relieved, all at once." He nodded. "That's normal. She betrayed you, man. It's okay to feel everything." I stared at the wall. I keep thinking about all the times I trusted her. All the times I thought she loved me. Mark said, "She made her choices. Now she's facing the consequences." Rachel's mother, Mrs. Carter, called. Her voice was shaky. Ethan, I'm so sorry. I had no idea. Our family is ashamed. I tried to be kind. It's not your fault. I hope she gets help. She sniffled. We're all praying for you. After we hung up, Mark said, You handled that well. I sighed. I just want to move on. A few days later, I started therapy with Dr. Lee. Her office was quiet, full of plants and soft light. She smiled. What brings you here, Ethan? I took a deep breath. My wife tried to claim my life insurance while I was still alive. I want to heal. I want to stop feeling like a victim. She nodded. That's a good place to start. We talked about Rachel, about trust, about pain. She listened, never judging. She said, You're stronger than you think. Healing takes time. I left her office feeling lighter. Mark encouraged me every day. Let's go for a walk. Let's get out of the house. We walked through the park. I watched kids play, couples laugh. I wondered if I'd ever trust anyone again. Mark nudged me. You will. It just takes time. I smiled. Thanks for not giving up on me. He grinned. You're my brother. I never will. Rachel lost her job. Her family stopped talking to her. People whispered when they saw her name in the news. I heard she was staying with a distant cousin, alone. I felt a strange mix of relief and sadness. I didn't want revenge. I just wanted peace. Dr. Lee asked, What do you want now, Ethan? I thought about it. I want to live for myself. I want to be happy again. She smiled. You will, one step at a time. I started reading again. I called old friends. I even laughed at Mark's terrible jokes. One night, Mark made dinner. 2 new beginnings, he said, raising his glass. I clinked mine against his. 2 surviving, he grinned. 2 thriving. I realized I was healing, slowly but surely. Rachel tried to call from jail. I let it go to voicemail. Mark asked, You going to listen? I shook my head. No, I'm done. He smiled. Good, you deserve better. I looked out the window at the city lights. For the first time in months, I felt hope. Karma had done its work. Now, it was my turn to start over. I started to feel like myself again. Dr. Lee's words echoed in my mind every morning. You're allowed to move forward, Ethan. You're allowed to be happy. Mark noticed the change. You're smiling more, he said one afternoon. You even made coffee for both of us. I grinned. Don't get used to it, he laughed. I'll take what I can get. I got a call from an old friend, Lucas. Heard about everything, man? You want to grab lunch? I hesitated, then said yes. We met at a diner. Lucas looked at me, serious. You look different, stronger. I shrugged. I'm trying. It's not easy. He nodded. You're doing better than you think. Back at home, Mark said, You should get out more. Try something new. I rolled my eyes. Like what? He grinned. I have a friend, Jenna. She's cool. You should meet her. I laughed. You're setting me up. He shrugged. Just dinner. No pressure. I agreed. Fine. One dinner. Jenna met us at a small restaurant. She smiled, warm and genuine. Mark's told me a lot about you. I smiled back. All lies, I hope. She laughed. Only the good stuff. We talked for hours. She asked about my job, my family, my favorite books. I found myself relaxing, even enjoying her company. After dinner, Jenna said, You're easy to talk to, Ethan. I grinned. You too. Mark winked at me as we left. Told you. The next day, I got a text from Jenna. Thanks for dinner. Let's do it again sometime. I replied, I'd like that. I started going to the gym with Mark. We pushed each other, joked, and talked about everything but Rachel. One afternoon, Mark said, You're stronger than you think, Ethan. I'm proud of you. I smiled. Thanks, man. I couldn't have done it without you. He shrugged. That's what brothers are for. Rachel tried to contact me from jail. Letters, calls, even messages through her lawyer. I ignored them all. Dr. Lee asked, Do you feel guilty for moving on? I thought about it. Sometimes, but mostly I feel free. She nodded. That's growth. I started a new job at a tech company. The work was challenging, but I liked it. My boss was fair. My coworkers were friendly. Jenna and I started seeing each other more. We went for walks, watched movies, talked late into the night. One evening, she asked, "Do you ever think about the past?" I nodded. "Sometimes, but it doesn't hurt like it used to." She smiled. "That's a good sign." I realized I was finally letting go. Mark noticed. "You're different, Ethan. Happier." I grinned. "I am. For the first time in a long time." He clapped me on the back. "You deserve it." I looked around my new apartment, at the life I was building. I realized I was stronger than I ever thought, and I was ready for whatever came next. A letter arrived from Rachel. Mark handed it to me, eyebrows raised. "You going to read it?" I nodded. "I need to." I sat on the couch and opened the envelope. Rachel's handwriting was shaky. "Ethan, I know I don't deserve your forgiveness. I'm sorry for everything. I was scared, desperate, and selfish. I ruined the best thing I ever had. I hope you find happiness, even if it's not with me. Rachel." I read it twice, then set it on the table. I didn't feel anger, just a strange, quiet sadness. Mark sat beside me. "You okay?" I nodded. "Yeah, I think I am." He asked, "Are you going to write back?" I shook my head. "No, there's nothing left to say." He smiled. "That's probably for the best." That night, I sat on my balcony, thinking about everything I'd lost and everything I'd learned. I realized I didn't want revenge. I didn't want to hold on to the pain. I called Dr. Lee. I got a letter from Rachel. I read it, but I'm not replying. She said, "That's a big step, Ethan. Forgiveness isn't for her, it's for you." I nodded. "I want to let go. I want to move forward." She said, "You're allowed to." I hung up and looked at the city lights. I felt lighter. Mark came out with 2 mugs of tea. 2 new beginnings. I smiled. 2 new beginnings. We clinked our mugs together. For the first time, I felt free. Months passed. I moved into a new apartment, with big windows and sunlight in the mornings. I filled it with secondhand furniture and hope. My job kept me busy, and Jenna made life feel lighter. One Saturday, Jenna called. "Want to go for a walk?" I smiled. "Yeah, I'd like that." We strolled through the park. She asked, "How are you really doing?" I thought for a second. "Better. I'm not looking over my shoulder anymore." She nodded. "You seem lighter." I laughed. "I feel lighter. I'm finally moving on." She squeezed my hand. "You deserve it." We talked about everything: music, movies, family. She told me about her parents, how she lost her mom last year. I shared stories about my own parents, how I missed them every day. That weekend, I visited my parents' grave. I brought flowers and sat in the grass. I whispered, "I'm okay now. I promise I'll live for myself." The wind felt warm on my face. I closed my eyes and let the silence comfort me. Back at work, Jenna and I grew closer. She made me laugh. She listened when I needed to talk. We took things slow. No pressure, no secrets. Mark called one night. "You sound happy." I smiled. "I am, for the first time in a long time." He said, "You deserve it, Ethan. I'm proud of you." I thanked him. "I couldn't have done it without you." He laughed. "You would have found your way. You always do." I hung up and looked around my apartment. It wasn't perfect, but it was mine. Jenna texted. "Movie night at my place," I replied. "I'll bring popcorn." I realized I wasn't the same person I was before. I was stronger, wiser, free, and for the first time, I was excited for what came next. A year later, my life felt brand new. I woke up early, made coffee, and watched the sunrise from my window. My apartment was filled with little signs of happiness: photos of my parents, a plant that was somehow still alive, and Jenna's favorite mug on the counter. Jenna stayed over most weekends now. She'd wake up, stretch, and smile at me. "You're up early again," I grinned. "Old habits." She poured herself coffee. "Big plans today," I nodded. "Family brunch. You ready?" She laughed. "I'm always ready for Mark's pancakes." We drove to Mark's house. He was already flipping pancakes in the kitchen. He grinned when he saw us. "Look who finally made it." Jenna hugged him. You're the best, Mark. He winked at me. You're a lucky man, Ethan. I smiled. I know. After brunch, Mark pulled me aside. You seem happy. I nodded. I am. I never thought I'd get here. He clapped me on the back. You earned it. Later, Jenna and I walked by the river. She stopped, looking at the water. Do you ever think about the past? I nodded. Sometimes, but it doesn't hurt anymore. I learned a lot. She looked at me like what? I thought, for a moment. That pain doesn't last forever. That family can break and heal. That I'm stronger than I thought. She smiled. I love you, Ethan. I took her hand. I love you too. That night, I sat at my desk and wrote a letter to my younger self. Dear Ethan, you're going to lose things you thought you'd have forever. You'll be betrayed by people you trust, but you'll survive. You'll find new reasons to hope. Don't give up. Future you. I folded the letter and put it in a drawer. Jenna came in, holding 2 mugs. What are you writing? I smiled. Just a letter to myself, a reminder. She sat beside me. You don't need reminders, you're living proof. I kissed her forehead. Thank you for being here. She leaned on my shoulder. Thank you for letting me in. We watched the city lights together, quiet and content. A few weeks later, Mark called. You ready for the big day? I laughed. I think so. I'm nervous, he said. You'll be fine. Jenna's the best thing that ever happened to you. I grinned. I know. The proposal was simple. Just me, Jenna, and the city lights. I knelt down, heart pounding. Will you marry me? She gasped, tears in her eyes. Yes, of course, yes. We hugged, laughing and crying at the same time. Mark was the first to congratulate us. Full circle, man, you made it. I hugged him. Thanks for never giving up on me. He grinned. That's what brothers are for. Jenna and I celebrated with friends. We danced, we laughed, we dreamed about the future. As the night ended, I realized that sometimes, surviving the worst brings out the best in us. I'd lost so much, but I'd found even more. I was ready for whatever came next. And for the first time, I truly believed I deserved it.